How's it going, guys? I hope you are all doing well out there today, wherever you are in the world. And in this video, we're going to shoot out some Uni-Vibe style pedals. Now, I love Uni-Vibe as an effect, but I've never really had much call on the gigs that I do to have a permanent Uni-Vibe in place, taking up space on the pedal board. However, I've got some gigs coming up where I really need that kind of thing. And I've had for a while this TC Electronics Viscous Vibe, which I dug out for the occasion. But if I'm honest, it's not quite ticking the box that I want. I feel like I can get close with the Tone Print app, but ideally I just want the sound in the pedal ready to rock. So we've got the Viscous Vibe still on there. I then purchased secondhand recently an MXR Univibe, and on loan from my good buddy Joe, I've got a Lovepedal Pickle Vibe. And what I wanted to do for myself is shoot these out to see which one fit my use the best. But I thought you guys might get a kick out of joining me for the shootout, and I'd really like to know which one of these you prefer or which one ticks your boxes. Now, all three of these provide a Univibe effect, but they don't do it in the traditional way. The older Univibe stuff used a photocell to create that throbbing effect. All of these do it in a different way. So the Univibe and the Pickle Vibe are both analog, but they don't have a photocell, and the TC Electronics Viscous Vibe is all digital. The Viscous Vibe has the Tone Print app and all that fun stuff. So you've got a speed, intensity, and a volume control. The Pickle Vibe just has a rate control on top and a nice LED to let you know where you're at. And the Univibe has depth, level, and speed, and also a vibe mode, which takes out the dry signal and gives you a vibrato. The Viscous can do that as well. The Pickle cannot. While I think you do get a slightly more authentic sound from a photocell, often the pedals are bigger, less pedalboard friendly, and more expensive. So without further ado, let's have a listen. I'm using the Viscous Vibe in their standard chorus tone print thing. I've got another tone print that I prefer, which I believe is the Vintage Vibe 1, which I've got loaded in there already, which we'll check out a bit later, but we'll do this as stock for now. So first of all, we're running into my Marshall Origin behind me, set a little bit crunchy. And then we'll start with the Univibe. I've got it set up for a slow sort of vibey thing. So I've set these all kind of how I'd have them for this gig that I'm doing, the slow throbby thing. Over to the Pickle Vibe. So straight away between the two in the room, I feel like the Univibe has a little bit more throb. But that isn't necessarily always a good thing unless you're looking for that really swampy thing. When you've got a load of low end throb, if it's out of time with the song, it can sound a bit jarring. So I like both of these for different reasons so far. And then the Viscous Vibe in its standard chorus setting. So to me, the Viscous Vibe has that kind of asymmetrical throb kind of thing. That's the only way I can think of showing you what I mean. But hopefully you'll catch that. It also seems to lose a fair bit of the top end of the sweep. The Pickle Vibe seems the brightest of all of them. The Pickle Vibe to me almost sounds more like an extra throbby phaser than that traditional offset throb. But I do really like it. The Univibe so far seems like the most authentic of them all, but it actually doesn't have as much throb as I would have expected, given that the depth's all the way up. So let's just check out the lowest and highest rates that you can get out of these. You can hear there, by the way, that the Viscous Vibe has some cool features, like when you turn it off, it takes a second to disengage like the old Univibes. And also as you move the speed control, it ramps up slowly. So to me, the Pickle Vibe actually has the most usable range of them all. I could use any point on that travel and it would be usable. High up, it's got that kind of proper rotary speaker type thing. I mean, they can all do it pretty well. I think because the Pickle Vibe has less throb and depth, it does that rotary speaker, watery chorus thing a little bit better. On the these two, you have the vibrato mode as well. So if I just show you that briefly. It's not a sound I personally love, but it's there if you want it. What I want to do now is stick the Viscous Vibe into its Vintage Vibe 1 tone print, which I think is more my kind of speed, as in more my kind of preference when it comes to a vibe. So that gets the Viscous Vibe more where I want it to be, but to be honest, I still prefer the Univibe over the Viscous, and it's a tough call between these two because in my mind they do sort of different things. Like I said, this is more like a more throbby phaser effect. I mean, Univibe in its core is really only phasing anyway, but I think it leans more towards a thicker kind of Phase 45 vibe, which I really, really like. And like I said, when there's less of that low-end offset throb, I find it perhaps more musical, especially at loud volumes. That real throbby thing from a Univibe can rattle speaker cabinets and kind of get in the way a little bit. So discounting the Viscous Vibe just for a second, the Viscous has the most features of them all. So if you're looking for like the most versatile one, the Viscous Vibe is it. I think my Shootout is between these two, however your mileage may vary. Let's just have another quick play with some of the settings. Yeah, I think my preference is definitely for the Univibe. I think it's got more of that nice, it's really hard to explain. To me, it just sounds a little bit more musical than the Pickle Vibe. The other thing with the Univibe as well is this level control is really handy, because sometimes when you engage modulation effects, you either need push in volume or a drop in volume. So, I mean, you could probably even use this as a bit of a color boost if you take the depth down. See how much level's on tap. So there's not tons of level, but it really does help offset depending on where you want the depth control. The depth control seems to open up the top end of the sweep. So if you've got less depth, I think you need more level to compensate. So that was a little look at 3 Univibe pedals. I think my personal preference today goes for the MXR Univibe. However, I do really enjoy the Pickle Vibe for something a bit different. And this TC Electronics Viscous Vibe, I didn't mean to discount it at all. It's just, I've had it for a good while now, so I know that it's a very cool pedal. It's got some great features. One thing I didn't mention is it actually speeds up when you hold down the pedal as well, which is very cool. But it's just not quite what I'm looking for at the moment. I don't want to go tweaking through all the tone prints to find what I want when really the Univibe does it. Thank you very much for joining me today just for a quick look at these Univibe pedals. As I said before, we've got plenty more Shootout stuff coming, and also we've got some brand new gear coming up in the next couple of weeks, which I'm really excited about. So stay tuned if you haven't already. You do me a massive favour if you like, comment, subscribe, share if you feel inclined, and I'll see you again in the next video. Cheers, guys.